How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to talk about the mindset that I'm using right now to expand into the positive light. So if you're looking for a way of thinking, a way to process and view the world so that you can become what it is that you wish to be, this is the episode for you. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, any frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive state. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. Well, before we get started, if there's something that you enjoy or take away from this episode, if you're on YouTube or Spotify, you can actually leave a comment below. Not only does it help me know what resonated with you, but somebody else might read your comment and it might inspire them to give this episode a listen. This is the #1 mindset podcast in the world, and I want to continue to grow it together. So whether you leave a positive comment or share this with somebody, it means the absolute world to me, and I could never thank you enough. But let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. So perspective and how we view things is so important. We know that nothing is as it is. It is as we are. That's, the view of the world. The world is not as it is. It is as you are. Your perspective matters. And the easiest way to understand that is imagine two scenarios. So in this scenario, your bank account's empty. You have no money. You've got bills coming up. It's a very stressful feeling. And somebody gives you $100. Your perspective and gratitude for that is very unique, very powerful, because you need that. You need that feeling. Now, if it wasn't money, imagine if it was your positive energy. Your positive energy bank was empty. You're feeling down. You're feeling empty. You're feeling lost. You're hurt within. It's like that black hole. All you feel is pain. And when somebody or something gives you something of gratitude or something of love or something of healing, it feels so good to receive that. Your perspective on it is, I need that. I need more of this because I'm empty. Now imagine the opposite of that. If your bank account is full, you've got millions of dollars in your bank, and someone goes to hand you $100. You might be thankful, depending on how you process and do things. You might have gratitude for it, but the value of it is going to be very little. In fact, your perspective on it would have to change, because then you would be looking at not what you're receiving, but what somebody's giving. Is that $100 a lot to that person? That's where the value would come from. Of course, if both people had millions of dollars, then you'd think, it was just an exchange. But you'd start looking like, okay, does this person have a lot or little to give, and they're still giving? Now imagine if it was love, light, energy, not money. If you are filled with all those things, if you're overflowing with the positive energy, the positive mindset, the love, all those good things, and someone does a good deed to you, your perspective on it is different because you don't need the good deed. All you're doing is observing because you're so full. So you look at the person you observe, what do they have? How much are they giving of theirs and how powerful that is? Somebody that gives something out of nothing is doing a lot. But if they have a lot too, your perspective is going to be so different on it. This is why I say perspective is everything. And the most powerful perspective that I am taking right now, and I've been adopting for the past few weeks, and hopefully, it'll evolve over time. This is just the current state, not the final state. But it's that I've already won. Everything is working out for me. With those two beliefs, nothing can stop me. I will always be right within. Because if I've already won, and what I mean by winning, it means I am the version of myself I want to be. I am a powerful creator, an observer, operating in light and love. I've already won. I don't need anything external to reinforce the fact that I've already won. I'm already that thing. Now, my vision of what I want to experience, that's still the journey that I'm on. But if I know that I've already won, meaning I'm this powerful creator and observer, I will get there no matter what, because the law of attraction is always working. Like attracts like, or even more importantly, like is like. So as I become, my energy finds the same place. But the second piece of that is this. It's that it's all working out for me. Everything that I run into, every dead end, every difficulty, every blockage, every limitation, all of those things are actually for me. Because if I am what I am, and I am attracting what I'm attracting because of the law of attraction, then any of these things are actually in my favor, because it's going to put me in a position to attract it the way that's most aligned with me. So when you run into a barrier, when you run into a setback or something that is difficult, whether it's in your mind, difficulties with that, or it's external, dealing with, life and all those things, whatever it is, if you are only focused on becoming, there can be no obstacle. It's only a path. It's only a direction. It's only a guide. If you're going forward and there's a sign that says go left to destination, then you go left. That sign was not a stoppage. It wasn't a blockage. It wasn't a barrier. It was a guidance. It's the same in bowling. If your goal is to hit the bowling pins and somebody puts the bumpers up and you roll down your bowling ball and it's bumping into the bumpers, but then it makes it to the pins, those things weren't stopping it from going. They were keeping it on the right path because of the law of attraction. That bowling ball is attracted to those pins because that's what's in your mind. That's what's going to happen. So you are attracted to whatever thing is like to you. And so all these barriers, all these things that you're struggling with are actually for you. When you can adopt that mindset, it gives you back the power. Wherever you put the finger has the power. So if you blame something or someone else, you're giving out the power. Remember, you're a powerful creator, so you can give the power to something else. In fact, so many people just do that. They don't want the responsibility. They don't want to have to say, oh, I created all this, especially when it's bad things. But if you can take responsibility for the bad, then you're giving yourself the power to create the good. And I don't mean bad as in like bad and good as in evil, or evil and good and evil. I don't mean those things. I just mean in good in alignment with what you desire, or bad as in out of alignment with what you desire. You have this power. This is the mind that I'm building with myself. And you're going to see, as long as you continue to follow along, whether it's here on the podcast, on social media, the visions that's going through my mind, the ability to really understand that you are just the creator of this. That's it. Yes, you have to do things, but you do those things to reinforce the belief. The more you believe, the more you receive. You can't just think, not in this world. That's just observing a thought. You have to make it physical. You have to charge the vibration so you can move into the energy that you desire, or the frequency that you desire. That's why you have to think, act, and speak in alignment. Again and again, you have to do it so much that you're convinced no matter what happens, you will do it anyway. It's like this podcast. Right now I'm doing 7 days a week, and I know that's not going to be forever. This is like a sprint, a mental sprint, something I've been doing in exercise, and probably in the next year I'm going to cut it back down a little bit because there's other things I'm going to expand to. But right now, and whenever I commit to doing this specifically, I do it. I don't miss. Whether I say I'm going to do it 7 days a week, 14 days a week, meaning twice a day, which I've done, or I'm going to do it 3 times a week, whatever it is, whatever I put out there, I don't miss. I don't do it 3 times a week when I meant to do it 7 and I just drop it down. No, I am this. I speak it. So whatever it is that you commit to being, make sure your actions, your thoughts, and your words are in alignment with it. You've already won. That's the most important thing you could ever tell yourself. I've already won. It's not about external wins. Those don't matter. It doesn't mean they can't make you feel good. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have accomplishments. It doesn't mean you shouldn't explore a journey. You should, all of those things. But those are not the end all be all. Your internal state is what matters most. Your internal state is what you are. That's the thing that you are. That's what you take with you after this life. That's your being, your frequency. That's why it's so important to go within first. That's why it's so important to have the mindset that it's all working out for you. that you've already won, that you're expanding all these blockages, all these difficulties, all these things that seem bad are actually good because it's happening for you. This is the mindset that will change your life. This is how you become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a different perspective on your growth, on your expansion, whatever it is that you're working for. I hope that this helped you get there. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.